You win when nothing moves you. Not the fleeting rush of praise, not the sharp sting of rejection, not the warm glow of love, nor the cold bite of hatred, not the hollow roar of applause or the crushing silence of being ignored. True victory lies in standing unshaken in a world that's constantly trying to pull you into its chaos. It's not about feeling nothing, it's about mastering everything. Most people don't chase victory, they chase the fleeting thrill of winning. They hunger for the adrenaline, the spotlight, the flood of validation that comes with being seen. But feelings are cheap, like candy handed out to anyone who shows up. Drunks feel deeply, addicts feel endlessly, and the masses, they're emotional puppets, mistaking their urges for passion, their cravings for purpose. They call it drive, but it's just noise, loud, distracting, and ultimately empty. On WisdomWavesAura, my YouTube channel, I dive into this truth. The real battle is acting without being tethered to the feelings that follow. It's about becoming unshakable, not because you're numb, but because you've learned to hold the fire of emotion in your palm without letting it burn you. The world is a trigger factory, designed to keep you reactive. Algorithms tug at your desires, serving you content that sparks envy, fear, or longing. Ads whisper to your insecurities, promising fulfillment if you just buy this or become that. Social media is a stage where everyone performs, hoping you'll feel small, behind, or unworthy in comparison. Every notification, every scroll, every glance is a calculated pull on your attention, and the currency thereafter is your emotions. The more you feel, the easier you are to manipulate. Most people are emotional slaves, ruled by impulses. They don't even question. They make decisions based on fear, lust, or the hunger for status, then drape logic over their instincts like a cheap costume. But instincts don't need words, they need control. To win in this world, you must move through it with a still mind and a calm heart, not because you don't care, but because you've seen what caring too much does. You've watched people crumble under the weight of their need for approval, their desperation to prove something. On WisdomWavesAura, I talk about this hunger, the way it twists people into chasing shadows, mistaking validation for victory. Feelings are not the prize, they're the side effect. The real prize is mastery, the kind of clarity that cuts through the fog of emotion like a blade. It's standing in front of your enemies, your lovers, your fears, and feeling nothing shake. Inside you, not because you're cold, but because you've already burned. You've suffered enough to know what matters and what doesn't. You've stared into the abyss of your own need, watched your soul twist itself for recognition, and instead of running, you sat with it. You let the dark parts, the selfish, scared, desperate parts scream and crawl until they had no power left. What's left after that? Discipline, precision, silence. That's the core of what I share on WisdomWavesAura, the path to becoming untouchable. Not by shutting down, but by rising above. This isn't apathy, which is just dead weight, a corpse pretending to be strong. It's control, the kind that lets you walk through a storm with your chest open and your eyes clear, choosing not to flinch. To win without feeling doesn't mean you're dead inside. It means you've buried the part of you that begs for approval, silenced the inner child who needs to be told they're enough. You've killed the actor who performs for applause, the addict who feeds off being wanted. You still play the game, move the pieces, but your face is stone, your spirit quiet, your eyes like winter. No warmth for the audience, no craving for recognition. You do what needs to be done, then vanish like a ghost, disciplined and unseen. On WisdomWavesAura, I explore how to let go of the reward, the smile that follows a compliment, the heat of an insult, the urge to be seen, heard, liked. Letting go of the human need to matter is what makes you more than human. It's not about becoming heartless, it's about becoming unstoppable. You act without the tremble of emotion steering the wheel. You speak without needing to be heard. You walk away, not out of pride, but out of wisdom, knowing most things aren't worth staying for. The world teaches us to measure success by what we feel, the goosebumps, the chills, the tears, but those are just distractions. Most of what people chase is noise. Attention is noise. Validation is noise. Emotional highs are noise. Strip them away, and you're left with clarity, the kind of vision that doesn't need feelings to make decisions. That's where power lives, not in the thrill, but in the restraint. The greatest warriors move quietly, not because they're weak, but because they don't need to prove their strength. Monks go silent, not to escape, but to see. The best leaders don't beg to be followed, they simply are. They've learned the secret: the less you feel, the more you see. And when the fog clears, you realize how much of life is built on illusion. Most people aren't chasing purpose, they're chasing distraction. Filling the void with pleasure, chaos, sensation. They aren't alive. They're avoiding death. But you're here to be alive, fully, completely. With a presence that doesn't need to be loud, a spine that doesn't bend for approval, a rhythm untouched by highs or lows. WisdomWavesAura is where I break this down, showing you how to step out of the noise and into the clarity of true power. You are the mountain, not the weather. Stop chasing the feeling, the applause, the affection, the story in your head that says, once I feel this, I'll be complete. You don't need to feel complete. You need to act completely, with purpose, silence, and control. Victory isn't defeating others, it's conquering the part of you that still needs to be seen, the version that craves a reward. The echo in your chest whispering, "Look at me. Tell me I matter." You already matter. That's not up for debate. Real strength, real victory, is when that truth doesn't need proving. It just is. So you move forward, build, lead, create, without waiting for permission, without needing to feel like a god to move like one. Feelings are clouds, always shifting, always lying. Build your kingdom on stone discipline, clarity, the cold, sharp focus that doesn't sway with your mood. That's how you win. Not loudly, not emotionally, but surgically. Like a blade in the dark, like a shadow that never misses. On Wisdom Waves Aura, I share this haunting truth. The less you feel, the more real you become. When the world goes quiet, no noise, no eyes, no pros, you'll still be standing. Not because you felt nothing, but because you needed nothing. That's the essence of victory. Silent, certain, unshaken. It's not about shutting out the world. It's about rising above its pull. Every day you wake up in a world that's trying to make you react, to make you feel small, to make you chase, but you don't have to play that game. You can choose to move with precision, to act with purpose, to let go of the need for validation. On Wisdom Waves Aura, I talk about how to cultivate this stillness, how to train your mind to see through the illusions that keep most people trapped. It's not about becoming emotionless, it's about becoming unbreakable. You still feel the fire, but you don't let it burn you. You still see the storm, but you walk through it without flinching. You still hear the noise, but it doesn't dictate your rhythm. Most people are ruled by their emotions, even when they think they're not. They justify their choices with logic, but it's just a mask for fear, desire, or the need to be seen. They're pulled by urges they don't understand, chasing highs that fade and running from lows that linger. But you can choose differently. You can learn to act without needing the rush, to speak without needing the echo, to walk away without needing to prove a point. That's the power I explore on WisdomWavesAura. How to live with a clarity that cuts through the chaos. How to move with a purpose that doesn't depend on applause. It's about building a life that's yours, not the world's. A life where your strength comes from within, not from what others think or say. The path to victory is quiet, but it's not empty. It's full of purpose, discipline, and the kind of focus that makes you untouchable. You don't need to feel powerful to be powerful. You don't need to feel complete to be whole. You just need to act, to move, to build, with a heart that's calm and a mind that's clear. That's the message I share on Wisdom Waves Aura. True victory is not in what you feel, but in what you become. It's in the silence that knows it's eternal, the strength that doesn't need to shout, the presence that doesn't need to be seen. When you master yourself, nothing can touch you. And that's the truth, haunting, sharp, and unshakable. You win, not by chasing the light, but by becoming it.